Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins All World, fellow coin enthusiasts. Today, we're going to dive into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or even in your pocket right now. That's right, we're talking about the 1950 United States 1-cent coin, a piece of American history that has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. You might think it's just a regular penny, but this coin holds a secret that could mean a significant financial windfall for you if you know what to look for. Let's rewind to the year 1950. The world was coming out of the shadow of World War II, and the U.S. economy was booming. The country was experiencing a time of innovation and growth, with the 1950s marking the beginning of a new era in American history. The 1950 penny, or the Lincoln cent, was minted during this period of prosperity, featuring the beloved image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse side showcases the traditional wheat ears, a design that was used for decades before being replaced with the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. The 1951 cent coin was no ordinary penny, though. There's something special about this year that makes it particularly interesting to collectors today. When it comes to coins, it's often the details that matter most. The value of the 1950 penny is influenced by a number of factors, but the main one is its mintage. Most of the 1951 cent coins were produced in large quantities, and while they circulated widely, some variations are far rarer than others. If you have a 1950 penny that was minted in certain locations, like the Philadelphia Mint or the Denver Mint, it could hold a value far beyond its face value of 1 cent. The key is finding a coin that's rare or in exceptional condition. Now, what makes the 1950 penny so valuable? It comes down to the combination of rarity, demand, and condition. You see, not all 1950 pennies are created equal. Most of the 1951 cent coins were used in everyday transactions, so the vast majority have been worn down by time, resulting in scratches, discoloration, and damage. Coins that have survived the decades in pristine, uncirculated condition are much rarer and, as a result, worth much more. These near-perfect coins are highly sought after by collectors, who are willing to pay a premium for the opportunity to add them to their collections, but that's not all. There's one more factor that could make your 1950 penny worth a small fortune: mint errors. Sometimes, during the coin production process, a mistake is made that results in a coin with an unusual feature or flaw. These errors can include things like double strikes, off-center printing, or even misaligned die marks. Such errors are incredibly rare and can make a coin even more valuable. If you happen to have a 1950 penny with one of these minting errors, you could have a true treasure on your hands. For example, a 1950 penny with a double die error, where the image is imprinted twice, is extremely rare and highly desirable among collectors. In fact, certain error coins can fetch prices that far exceed what you'd expect. Mint errors make a coin unique and one of a kind, which is exactly why collectors are so eager to find them. Now, let's get to the big reveal. How much could your 1951 cent coin be worth? If you've got a 1950 penny in excellent, uncirculated condition or one that contains a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Depending on the rarity and condition, the price for one of these coins can reach an astounding $100,000. Yes, you heard that right, $100,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once worth just 1 cent could be worth so much today. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Time, rarity, and condition all play a crucial role in determining the value of a coin, and the 1951 cent coin is a prime example of how a simple penny can appreciate in value over the years. Today, we have a real gem to talk about: the United States 1-cent coin from 1966 with a unique mint mark. This seemingly ordinary penny holds incredible value, and you won't believe what it could be worth today. Stick around as we dive deep into the fascinating details of this particular coin, from its history to its design, rarity, and ultimate value in today's market. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1966 1-cent coin was minted during a significant period in American history. The United States was in the midst of a decade marked by cultural shifts, technological advances, and political change. The 1960s were a time of transformation, and while most people were focused on the events of the day, this humble penny was quietly making its way into circulation. Back then, the coin didn't seem particularly special, just another piece of everyday currency used in daily transactions, but fast forward to today, and this 1-cent coin from 1966 has turned into one of the most fascinating pieces for collectors. The reason? A small minting anomaly. The 1966 penny, unlike most of its counterparts, has a rare and unusual mint mark that makes it stand out in the world of numismatics. Many of these pennies were minted with the typical D mint mark for Denver, but a small number were struck with a unique variety. This small difference makes a huge impact on the coin's value, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for one in good condition. Speaking of condition, let's talk about the importance of grade. The value of the 1966 1-cent coin isn't just about the mint mark. It's also about how well the coin has been preserved over the years. Coins that have been circulated often show signs of wear, including scratches, discoloration, and other marks from daily use. These imperfections can lower the coin's value significantly. However, if you manage to find a 1966 penny in mint condition, you're holding something truly valuable. A coin that has been well preserved, free from tarnish, scratches, or other damages, can command a much higher price. As with any collectible item, the better the condition, the more it's worth. Collectors are always on the lookout for pennies that have been kept in excellent shape, and if you happen to own one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Now, let's talk about the design. The obverse of the 1966 penny features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This iconic image has appeared on the U.S. penny for over a century, and it's recognized around the world. Lincoln's face is portrayed in profile, with the words, "In God We Trust," above and the year of minting, 1966, beneath. On the reverse side, you'll find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced in 1959. The memorial stands as a tribute to one of America's greatest presidents, and it's a fitting symbol for the coin that bears his image. The reverse also includes the inscription E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, and the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. The design itself is quite beautiful and serves as a reminder of the history and legacy of the United States. But beyond the artistry, the 1966 penny has an added layer of significance due to its rarity. While the mint mark and condition play a large role in determining its value, certain factors like unique variations and the number of coins remaining in good condition also affect how much a collector is willing to pay for it. So, what makes this coin even more valuable? The answer lies in its rarity. While millions of pennies were minted in 1966, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Over the years, most of these pennies were spent and used in everyday transactions, leading to wear and tear that decreased their value. It's estimated that only a small number of 1966 pennies with the rare mint mark are still in excellent condition today, making them highly sought after by collectors. In addition to its rarity, there are also a few potential errors and variations that can increase the value of the 1966 penny. Some of these errors are subtle, but they can make a huge difference in the price. For example, coins with slight design shifts, uneven strikes, or unique die marks are especially valuable because they are one-of-a-kind pieces. If you happen to find a 1966 penny with one of these rare errors, you could be holding onto a real treasure. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the value of the 1966 1-cent coin. If you're lucky enough to own a mint condition 1966 penny with the rare mint mark, you could be looking at a staggering price. In fact, these coins have been known to fetch as much as $95,000 in the right market. That's right, $95,000 for a single penny. Can you believe that something as small as a 1-cent coin could be worth so much? It's a testament to the power of rarity, history, and condition when it comes to coin collecting. So, if you have an old jar of change or a collection of pennies lying around, it might be worth taking a closer look at your 1966 pennies. You could be holding onto something that's worth a fortune. Today, we have something truly special in store for you. If you're into numismatics or just have a curiosity about rare and valuable coins, you'll definitely want to stick around. We're diving deep into the United States 1-cent coin from 1963 with a distinctive mint mark. This seemingly ordinary penny has a remarkable story and, as you'll soon find out, an extraordinary value. So, let's take a closer look at why the 1963 1-cent coin could be worth far more than you might expect. First, let's go back in time to 1963. The world was in the midst of change, with the US still riding high from the post-war economic boom. This was an era marked by innovation, social movements, and a rapidly changing world. The United States was also on the brink of many political shifts, with the assassination of President John F. Kennedy just a year away. At that moment, the US Mint was hard at work, producing coins to meet the demands of a growing population and economy. The 1963 1-cent coin, known to most as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, was part of a series that had been in circulation for several decades. The coin featured Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. While this design had already become a symbol of American heritage, little did people know that some of these coins would be worth much more than their face value decades later. So, what's the big deal about the 1963 penny? Why is this particular coin so sought after by collectors? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and a special mint mark. Although the 1963 penny was produced in large quantities, a relatively small number of them were minted with a unique characteristic that makes them stand out from the rest. You see, while most pennies from that year were struck with the standard D mint mark from the Denver Mint, a select few were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's those rare examples that have caught the attention of collectors. But it's not just the mint mark that adds value to the coin. It's also the condition. As with any collectible, the better the condition, the more valuable the coin becomes. Over the years, many of the 1963 pennies circulated widely and showed signs of wear and tear. They were spent in transactions, dropped, and used for everyday purposes, which means that finding one in near-perfect or mint condition is incredibly rare. Mint condition coins, especially those that have been carefully stored away from wear, tear, and environmental factors, can fetch impressive prices. The difference between a coin in good condition and one in excellent condition can be significant. Even small imperfections such as scratches, discoloration, or heavy wear can drastically reduce the coin's value. That's why, when it comes to the 1963 penny, finding one that has been well preserved over the years is like finding a hidden treasure. But that's not all. Another factor that affects the value of the 1963 penny is its historical significance. The United States was undergoing significant social and political changes during this time, and the coin stands as a reflection of that transformative period in American history. The design of the Lincoln Memorial, which adorned the reverse of the penny, was introduced in 1959 and remained in use for many years. The memorial itself represents the nation's reverence for President Abraham Lincoln, whose legacy as a leader of unity and freedom resonates even today. So, owning a coin from this era is like holding a small piece of history in your hands. Now, let's talk about the potential value of the 1963 1-cent coin. If you're lucky enough to find one in near-perfect, uncirculated condition with the rare mint mark, you could be sitting on a real fortune. These coins, despite their modest face value of just 1 cent, have been known to sell for extraordinary amounts at auction or to private collectors. With the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance, the price can soar. So, what's the actual worth of a 1963 penny in excellent condition? If you're lucky enough to find a 1963 penny with a Philadelphia Mint mark in mint or uncirculated condition, it could be worth a whopping $85,000. That's right, $85,000 for a single penny. This remarkable figure highlights just how valuable rare coins can be, even when they seem like ordinary pieces of currency at first glance. If you've got a collection of old pennies, or perhaps you've come across a 1963 penny in your change, now is the time to take a closer look. It might not seem like much at first, but it could be the ticket to a small fortune. To make sure your 1963 penny is worth top dollar, it's important to have it properly evaluated. Professional coin grading services can assess the coin's condition and authenticity, and they'll give you a better idea of its true market value. If your penny is truly in mint condition, you'll want to protect it carefully, as even minor damage can decrease its worth. The value of the 1963 1-cent coin serves as a perfect reminder that the world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, you never know what you might find. That penny you thought was just a common piece of currency might actually be one of the rarest and most valuable coins in your collection. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that might seem pretty common at first glance but is actually worth far more than its face value. That's right, we're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1973 with a mint mark that's causing quite a stir in the coin collecting community. At first glance, the 1973 1-cent coin might look like any other penny. After all, it features the same design that's been on pennies for decades, the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. There's much more to this penny than meets the eye, especially if you know what to look for. And trust me, what you're about to hear might just change the way you view this humble coin. Let's set the stage a bit. The year 1973 was a pivotal time in American history. The country was going through major changes, both politically and economically. The Vietnam War had recently ended, and the Watergate scandal was making waves in the news. At the same time, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins to keep up with the demand for currency. Among these was the 1973 penny, which was minted in huge numbers and went on to circulate widely across the country. But here's the twist. Despite how many were minted, there's a rare and valuable version of the 1973 penny that's caught the eye of collectors in recent years. You see, most of these pennies were struck with the standard D mint mark from the Denver Mint, but a select few were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While that might sound insignificant at first, it's actually a key factor that contributes to the rarity and value of the coin. Why is this important? Well, it all comes down to the rarity of these specific minting variations. Coins minted in Philadelphia without any mint mark are far less common than those with the Denver D mint mark, making them more desirable among collectors. While the difference might seem subtle, it has a huge impact on the coin's value, and that's what makes the 1973 penny so exciting to coin enthusiasts. Another important aspect to consider is the condition of the coin. Like all collectibles, the value of a coin is largely determined by its grade. Coins that have been in circulation for years tend to show wear, with scratches, discoloration, and other signs of use. These imperfections lower the value of the coin, even if it's rare or historically significant. But if you happen to find a 1973 penny in near mint or uncirculated condition, you're sitting on something pretty special. Now, how do you identify a 1973 penny that might be worth a lot of money? The first thing to look for is the mint mark. As I mentioned earlier, pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1973 don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver will have a D stamped on the reverse side. If you find a 1973 penny with no mint mark, you could be holding onto a coin that's much more valuable than you thought. But that's not all. The condition of the coin is just as crucial to its value. Pennies that have been preserved carefully, with little to no wear, are the ones that fetch the highest prices in the market. A 1973 penny in excellent, uncirculated condition is a rare find and is highly sought after by collectors, which drives up its value even further. For those of you wondering why such a small coin could be worth so much, it all comes down to supply and demand. While millions of 1973 pennies were produced, only a small number have survived in pristine condition. Over the years, most of these coins were spent and circulated, leading to wear and damage that lowers their value. But if you're lucky enough to find a 1973 penny in exceptional condition, you might just be holding a hidden gem. So, what's the real value of a 1973 1-cent coin? Well, if you're holding a 1973 penny from Philadelphia with no mint mark and it's in uncirculated or near mint condition, you could be looking at a substantial sum. In fact, these rare, well-preserved coins have been known to sell for as much as $80,000 in the right market. That's right, $80,000 for a single penny. Who would have thought that something as small and seemingly insignificant as a 1-cent coin could be worth so much? It just goes to show that in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition matter more than you might think. If you're not already checking your change for rare finds, now might be a good time to start. You never know what could be hiding in your pocket or collection. It's always worth taking a closer look at those old pennies, especially if they're from a year like 1973. They might just be worth far more than their face value. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? The 1973 United States 1-cent coin is a prime example of how a rare minting variation combined with excellent condition can result in a coin that's worth a small fortune. If you have one of these rare coins tucked away in your collection, it could be time to get it evaluated by a professional. And if you don't have one yet, keep your eyes peeled. That 1973 penny you come across today could be the one that makes you a collector's dream come true. Today, we've got something truly fascinating for you, something that will make you take a closer look at the pennies in your collection, and possibly even the ones sitting in your spare change jar. We're going to talk about the United States 1-cent coin from 1971, featuring a unique mint mark that's captured the attention of coin collectors across the globe. It's not just any penny, this coin is one that could be worth much more than its original 1-cent value, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. Start off, let's take a trip back to 1971. The world was undergoing significant changes, people were still adjusting to the societal shifts of the 1960s, and the US was in the midst of navigating the post-Vietnam War era. The political landscape was evolving, and there were changes in the economy and in the way people viewed the world. The U.S. Mint was busy producing coins to keep up with the growing population and currency demands. Among the many coins minted that year was the 1971 1-cent coin, which featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. While these pennies were circulating like any other, little did the public know, some of them would eventually become valuable collectibles. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 1971 1-cent coin, while not rare in itself, has a special feature that makes certain examples worth a great deal of money: the mint mark. You see, most of the 1971 pennies were struck at the Denver Mint and bear the D mint mark. However, a small number of pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and what makes these particular coins so exciting is that they don't have any mint mark at all. A mint mark, as you may know, is a small letter found on a coin indicating where it was made. In this case, the lack of a mint mark on some of the 1971 pennies makes them extremely desirable for collectors because, when you combine rarity with the right condition, the value skyrockets. But rarity alone doesn't determine a coin's worth, condition plays a huge role as well. Coins that have been circulated and spent tend to show wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and general damage from handling can all significantly lower a coin's value. That's why finding a 1971 penny in excellent or mint condition is such a big deal. Pennies that have been carefully stored and protected from the elements or other damaging factors are the ones that get top dollar in the marketplace. When it comes to coin collecting, collectors aren't just looking for any 1971 penny, they want the ones that are as close to perfect as possible. So, if you happen to stumble upon a 1971 penny with no mint mark in near perfect condition, you may have just found a true hidden gem. Many of these rare coins have been kept in private collections, and some have even made their way into auctions where they've sold for substantial amounts of money. What really excites collectors about the 1971 penny is the historical context. The design of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse of the coin was first introduced in 1959, but the 1971 pennies were still being minted with this design decades later. The Lincoln Memorial itself, a symbol of American history and the country's reverence for Abraham Lincoln, adds a layer of depth and significance to the coin. Owning a 1971 penny isn't just about having a piece of currency, it's about owning a piece of history that represents an important chapter in America's past. Now, let's get down to the heart of the matter. Just how much can a 1971 1-cent coin be worth? While the average 1971 penny may be worth only a few cents, the rare 1971 pennies with no mint mark, especially those in mint or uncirculated condition, can fetch a jaw-dropping amount. When these pennies are sold in auctions or to private collectors, they've been known to go for a staggering sum. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you have a 1971 penny with no mint mark, and it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a value of up to $70,000. That's right, $70,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that such a small, seemingly insignificant coin could be worth so much, but it just goes to show the importance of rarity, condition, and historical context in the world of coin collecting. So, if you happen to have a stash of old pennies sitting around, now's the time to go through them and take a closer look. You might just find that one rare 1971 penny with no mint mark that could be worth a small fortune. And remember, coins that have been carefully preserved over the years are the ones that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for, so always handle your coins with care and keep them in the best possible condition. If you're just starting out in the world of coin collecting, this is a great example of how the value of a coin can go far beyond its face value. Whether it's due to a minting error, a rare variation, or just excellent preservation, the world of numismatics is full of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. You might already have one of these treasures sitting right in front of you. Thank you for joining us today on this deep dive into the value of the 1971 1-cent coin. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss an exciting discovery. Who knows? Your next coin hunt might just lead you to a penny worth $70,000. Happy collecting!